April, please welcome Robert Dean.
Yeah. David Cross, everybody. Are there any other Roberts in the audience tonight? Anyone else named Robert? No? You guys won't be able to relate to this. But it is not easy being named Robert. Because every morning I'm faced with an existential crisis. Every single morning I have to wake up and look at myself in the mirror and ask, am I Bob yet? Every morning. Because one day it's just going to happen. One day I'm just going to look in the mirror and be like, I'm Bob now, hello. I grow my goatee and I'm going to tuck my t-shirt in my jeans. I'm going to wear my cell phone on my belt like I own a tiling company. It's like my menopause. It's my Baba pause. It's going to happen. I feel it. It's coming. The other day I was on the bus, which is a real Bob move to ride the bus. I was on the bus and the bus driver played that announcement, assaulting the bus operator is a felony. And I was alone on the bus, so that's about me, right? That has to be about me. I'm a very paranoid person. I don't have to tell you all that. You all know that, because that is all you ever talk about. I'm paranoid. So paranoid. I live in a very Polish neighborhood, and I'm convinced my Polish neighbors don't like me, and I'm half Polish, and I want to tell them that, but I only know 2 words in Polish, which won't work. Because that would be like if someone who didn't speak English just walked up to you and went, Grandma, Grandpa! Grandma, Grandpa! You know, it doesn't... Sounds like I'm hitting on them in the weirdest way possible. Grandma, Grandpa? I am single, trying to date myself. I like to take myself out on dates. A couple months ago, I took myself to a murder mystery dinner. Everyone thought I did it. I was the #1 suspect. Here's something you might not know. If you're the only person sitting at a Benihana hibachi table, the chef still puts on the entire show. You might not know that. You get it all. There's no crowd minimum for hibachi. He's juggling knives. You get the onion volcano. Then he expects you to catch all the shrimp in your mouth. And it is a lot of shrimp for one person. And while it was happening, while I was being bombarded by shrimp, I was reminded of one time I was about 8 years old, and I went to hibachi with my 85-year-old grandmother. And for some reason, that hibachi chef still thought that she could catch shrimp in her mouth. 8 pieces of hot, oily shrimp struck my grandmother in the forehead, neck, and chest. He had terrible aim and he wouldn't stop. I'm 8 years old and I get mad. So I stand up and I yell, "Stop throwing shrimp at my grandma!" And I'm convinced I'm the only person to have ever said that, to have ever put those words in that order. So in that moment I wrote it down, thinking that might be the funniest thing ever yelled out at a Japanese restaurant. Having hibachi alone, proven wrong immediately. Because the only other couple there, the only other people in this restaurant were a middle-aged couple sitting behind me, and they were having just sushi for the first time. And I know that because when their sushi arrived, the man said out loud, "Huh, I've never had avocado before." So I turn and look at it, a piece of shrimp hits me in the back of the head. As he takes his fork, plunges it into the wasabi. Yes! I always love this moment in the joke when I get to hear the empathy of the audience. I was just like you guys, where I was like, no. There's a big part of me that was like that other guy who was like, yes! Do it! And sure enough, this man puts the entire forkful of wasabi into his mouth, pulls it out clean, at which point he yelled out the greatest thing ever yelled out at a Japanese restaurant, which is, "Wow! Avocado spicy!" I just kept watching him, hoping he'd drink the soy sauce, and wow, this coffee is salty! Japanese food is different! I was in Atlantic City recently, Here's something I learned. There is no way of swimming alone in a hotel pool without looking like you're thinking about a divorce. There's no other way to do it. Doesn't matter how much fun you're having. I had a very bad time in Atlantic City. I lost $450 on the Ellen DeGeneres Show slot machine. It was a real machine, and I waited in line to play it. And now, before I continue this story, I want to say I know that Atlantic City is not the place to see happy and healthy relationships. But this blew my mind. The middle-aged couple that I was waiting on the machine, when they were done playing, they got up, and the wife turned to the husband and asked, "Honey, do you have any mint or gum?" And the husband went, "I have Tic Tacs." And then she went, "Forget it!" And then they stormed off. So the entire time I am at the machine, they are all I can think about. Right? Let's all ignore the fact that Tic Tacs are definitely mints. Can we look past that? And focus on what I think is the bigger issue. How does she not know her husband has Tic Tacs? They're very noisy. They're a noisy thing to have in your pocket. And no one buys Tic Tacs for the first time. Tic Tacs are never an impulse purchase. If you have Tic Tacs, you always have Tic Tacs. It's part of your personality. You're a Tic Tac guy. And every chance you get, you take them out. And you shake them up. And you yell, "Tic Tac? Anyone want a Tic Tac?" And then they make us non-Tic Tac people hold out our hands like we're receiving communion. And they don't let us hold the Tic Tacs. They have to do it. They gently try to shake that one Tic Tac out. But you know what happens? That one Tic Tac turns horizontal and blocks the hole. So then they have to shake harder and harder. And then 7 pour out at once. And they always go, "Ooh, lucky you." I'm like, "Not lucky me. I've eaten 7 Tic Tacs now." And then they always go, "I got the orange kind. I'm a psychopath." You know, they always do that. I don't know why those two people are together. I was in a relationship for about 2 years recently, and it was actually great. It was the longest relationship of my life. Here's something I didn't realize. The big perk of the long-term relationship is you get better at sex. You know, you get practice. You don't just have to play away games. You get to play at home, which is a perk. Like, here's something I learned I didn't know. I didn't know it was possible to be yourself while having sex. Did you guys already know this? Did you know you could smile and enjoy it? Did you guys know this was an option? I had no idea. I'm 32. My entire life I've just been like, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" Then I'd finish and I would always be like, "Who was that guy?" You know? And the more sex you have with one person, the more weird stuff you realize you do. Like, does anyone else here do the kiss down to oral sex? You know what I'm talking about? It's that move. I think we all do it. It's the foreplay move. As soon as the shirt comes off, we all become explorers. You know the move where you kiss a centimeter away, where you're just like, "Mwah, mwah, mwah. Where am I going?" Mwah. Does anyone else get to the belly button and have no idea what to do? Am I alone on that? I always reach the belly button like it's a bridge troll to the genitals. I'm always like, "Ask your questions and I'll be on my way. I want nothing to do with you." My problem is I don't understand why we act like it's so mysterious. There's no mystery to it. We all know where you're going. You're going to the genitals. That's the place to go. Some of you might be thinking, you could be kissing down to the butthole. Sure, I guess. You could. I don't like that. I don't like the idea of kissing down to the butthole. You have to take an abrupt turn at some point, you know? And to me, kissing down to the butthole is like driving down to Orlando, Florida, and then going to SeaWorld first. Right? Why are you going to SeaWorld first? Go to Disney first. Everyone has fun at Disney World. Maybe if you're down there for a week, you can go to SeaWorld, but don't start at SeaWorld. I make that joke having neither been to SeaWorld nor the asshole. But I have seen a number of things online that make me not want to go to either, so I'm not going to. But But next time you're doing the kiss down, I want everyone in this room to add a little mystery, because there is no mystery to it, so let's all add mystery, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to think of me while you're doing it, okay? It's gonna happen whether you want it to or not. Sorry. And then you're like, oh right, I have to add mystery, and here's what I want you to do. I want you to completely bypass the genitals. Kiss down the leg, across the foot, across the floor, and out the door. Just take off. Where are you going? Does anyone here know what the E in Chuck E. Cheese stands for? What? Everyone saw the Chappelle doc. Good. It's not Edward. I did my research. It's entertainment. Which means his full name is Charles Entertainment Cheese. Which is my favorite name of all time. It's my favorite thing in the world. So what I did was I did research, and I looked it up. I wanted to know, why was he named Charles Entertainment Cheese? And I found a book that Chuck E. Cheese makes for children. This is a children's book, the official canon, the official backstory of Charles Entertainment Cheese. And it starts with, no one knows why he was named Charles Entertainment Cheese. Well, that is my question, so good to know. But then it goes on, and it says, no one knows why he was named that because he is an orphan. It continues and says, because he is an orphan, he does not know when his birthday is, so he has never had a birthday party. Which is why he loves celebrating the birthdays of other children. I think I can speak for everyone in this room when I say, what the fuck, Chuck E. Cheese? You don't need that much depth. A guitar-playing rat doesn't need a tragic backstory. Like, you never hear Captain Crunch was a POW. You never hear that side of the story. And while he was a prisoner, he was fed sandpaper, and that's why his cereal cuts the roof of your mouth. Did you guys know that beachwear mogul Tommy Bahama was born Thomas Bahamas? Good night, everybody.